Right, kick off then. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks very much for coming today. We've got a packed agenda, so we'll get straight on and just invite Richard to tell us a bit more about Studio School and welcome to the studio.
Thanks very much. I noticed that it's had 12 till 10 past, so take the time up straight away. This is a photograph from our grand opening, and the person that's missing on it, and he's stood taking a photograph, is great. But if you look over here, you can see a reflection. He has made it into the shot. I think I've met most of you before and spoken to you about the school, so I'm trying to think how can I take that sort of more useful information rather than repeat ourselves. So, as a school, 14 to 19, regular sort of curriculum, A-levels, GCSEs, BTECs. But the idea here is that students are coming to put one foot into the workplace and go and work and then be better set and have those attributes so that when they go to their next step after school, they're in a trajectory like that rather than starting from scratch. So the students that we have, people in the school today, hello, they're around sort of helping. They've all done various workplaces around and about and will be leaving school next summer for their next step at the university. We'll come up with one of you guys. This year as a school we're having a slight sort of rethink about our curriculum, so same subjects, but because of our relationship with our employers has got to that sort of next step, we're thinking about how that works. So rather than talk about come to us and do your Level 3 BTEC in business, it would be come to us and work with local businesses in this way, develop yourself in this way and get this qualification that will get you to that next step. And in doing that, we know that we need to do quite a lot of work with employers and set up those sort of sustainable programs. So it's just a sort of little bit of an ask really, and a thank you in advance for helping us have those conversations so we can describe those programs properly. And on that note, I'll introduce Steph McNeil. Just give everyone a wave. Steph is the Director of Business Engagement here, so Steph teaches within the school, but also looks after our sort of programs with employers and setting up with Activate Learning the apprenticeship program for next year. Something that we haven't got, and Phil and remember sort of established in the school, specialisms in this area have changed slightly, and now there's the sort of whole well-being element, Healthy Bicester, and we want to sort of meet with that. So we're going to put together a program around life sciences to meet with that and connect with the town much more sort of cleanly. So that's on the horizon for us. This space that you're in, I noticed that Karen's here. Hello, Karen. At the weekend, it's the Grave on the Hill Phase 1B launch event, and that's happening in here. So, there's a lot of flexibility as a school. We want to be part of, hope for Bicester and Bicester businesses and do things here and use us and keep us involved. And we'll come along. There's several members of staff here, students come along to help out. I'm really looking forward to a brilliant event, and this space lends itself excellently for that. There's classrooms that we can break out into as well. So if that's something that appeals to you, please have a conversation with us. I think we might be able to help each other out. We're very competitive. And I know Bicester Vision isn't about asking for money or anything like that, but we do look for ways to work with you. If our students can come out and work with you, you can pay them if you choose to, if they're over 16. But given your time, and if there's any other way you want to help us, including financially, for example, with a minibus or sponsoring part of a minibus, then that would come very handy. But really, it's just about that relationship and about having something that students can get involved with. Thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. The bit that I didn't say was just about the fire, etc. So if the alarm does go off, which it shouldn't, but if it does, we'll straight down those stairs, straight out the front of the building, and assemble on the car park. If you would like to use the toilets, there are some there. They're student toilets. I would advise down one flight of stairs and then the visitor toilets there. That's much nicer. Thank you. That's it from me. Thank you, Phil.
Okay, we've had quite a few, I think, apologies, Sarah, haven't we, today. So it's because the annual AGM normally we go through and find, but I think there's a point. We'll just document them 1 minute then for the minutes of the last meeting. Do we want to go through that?
Well, they were circulated, Mr. Chairman, and revised 2 days later, recirculated.
Okay.
We've not had anybody come back since that date, so I think we can take them as read.
All right, we'll take them as read and then post those. Thanks, Graham. Okay, Graham, I'll hand over to you for the annual report.
Okay, thank you very much. Hopefully, you should have all have got your copy of the annual report. Wonderful students from Bicester Technology Studio School are handing these out, so I hope you've all got one. If you haven't, there's still some at the back. And what we will do is circulate the digital copy to all of our partners. It will also be available for download on our partners' websites and indeed our own. It's our 10th annual report, and every year it's improved on the previous year, if only because we've invited our partners, you good people, to contribute to it. In the early years, it was a tremendous task to write an annual report for such a small organisation, small as in headcount, the organisation, being that it only has one person who works for them, myself, the partnership manager. So it was decided quite early on that we would look to encourage partners to write things in there, to put their content into it. So we actually had a call for content at the start of September, and that was completed sort of end of October. And I would like to thank everybody who did participate in it. It's our biggest annual report yet. Next year I'm hoping for better, although I have been told by the designers and printers, Richard Rosser of the Oxford Group, to consider a slightly larger budget. I think we broke him this year, but he was very kind, he was very gracious, and he honoured his agreement to actually produce these for us. Now, the reason why we do the call for content is fairly simple. The partnership organisation is you. So therefore, when we write our annual report, it's as much your annual report as it is indeed something that will be created by a partnership manager. We're very fortunate today, or we will have later, to have been in the presence of 3 partnership managers, myself, my predecessor, Placid, and Ben Jackson was a predecessor as well. So, in fact, actually, at our last partnership meeting, we had all of the Doctor Who's together, didn't we? And that was the first time. It didn't create some sort of time, kind of ripping this space-time continuum. But it is a challenging task to bring all this content together, but I think this year I was helped tremendously by all of the work that you put in there, and I'm very grateful for it. So we're obviously going to go into a bit of detail with our chairman's report, so I won't obviously steal any of the thunder there. What I would draw your attention to is our accounts this year. Now, when I first joined the organisation, it was very apparent that we had lots of reserves, and reserves are good. What reserves mean, just for the benefit of our students here today, is that's a cushion, a financial cushion that protects us against uncertainty in the future. So it's nice to have that for an organisation to have a degree of continuity. However, we can't keep sitting on this, and indeed we haven't, so you'll notice from this that we have done some investments. Again, our chairman will talk about some of those investments, but you'll see that we're looking to make the money work for Bicester. And indeed there will be a call to action for you all, partners, to make some suggestions about what more we can do with that. So I'll leave it at that, and we'll come to that a little bit later on. We've also, you'll be pleased to know, increased our partnership to a new level. We'll go into that in a little bit of detail. One thing that I really do like, and this is actually Sarah who puts this together, and this is our outputs. Now you may have been aware, if you've been to any of our vision meetings, that we ask for 3 outputs at the end of every meeting. This is effectively that. They go online, so we promote them anyway, but these are some of those verbal outputs, these thoughts and the kernels of information that we take away at the end of them. They're actually critical, really. These are the abridged minutes, really, of the meeting. This summarises what we felt at that time to be the most important things about our meeting at that time. So I'm very grateful, Sarah, for you being able to put that together for us and make sure it's succinct and the details all there. And once again, my thanks to all of you for your content. Apologies to any of you who may have resubmitted any kind of final content to me, and indeed as you're reading through your very well crafted page, you spotted a typo in there that possibly I didn't pick up on at the time, but it was an interesting challenge of lots of emails coming in and the rate at which and the deadline getting more compressed, but you know, we kind of live on the edge really in this division, so it's not too much of an onerous task to get that done. I'm going to draw your attention to in a moment the video that we're producing. It was another instance of that same thing where we had to work up against the clock to actually make sure that it happened, that it satisfied the needs of our partners and indeed the wider community in which we would wish this particular thing to do. We have to keep getting better, and appreciate my background is Lean Six Sigma, which is continuous improvement. I truly believe in the art of continually improving the organisation. So therefore, could I ask that any of you privately or publicly, please feed back to our chairman, our vice chairman, indeed any of our exec or myself, ways in which we can get better for you, because we want to make sure this happens at a level that you're satisfied with and in a manner in which it will ensure that it kind of meets your expectations about what a being in Bicester Vision, the Bicester Vision partnership is. Useful kind of information that I want you to take away, and that relates to the dates of our meetings for next year. We will go into it, but I want to draw your attention to this one, 10th birthday. It was actually exactly 10 years ago, this month, say exactly, but this month, 10 years ago, that the Wednesday Business Club, the conversation first happened where Bicester Vision was going to be formed, or the idea of could it be formed. A few weeks later, those same people and some invited guests met at the Cooper School in Bicester. It was quite nice 10 years later to be in another school in Bicester talking about this. What actually happened was, as you can imagine, when you get lots of business people together, a lot of talking went on, and it seemed to take an eternity before finally, the following year, February 2008, they had their first formal meeting. So what we're proposing to do in our February meeting is have a bit of a party. So I do hope that you can keep that slot in your diary, because you're all welcome, and indeed so are your employees. What we try and do is all of our meetings are themed. Call to action to you all, please have a think about what you think is important to our visitors and indeed our partners as well. You know what we've done in the past. We've done ones on apprenticeship levy, we've done ones on access to finance, business funding, business process improvement, sales and marketing, law. We've produced a tremendous amount of work on employee engagement and retaining talent and bringing some skills that individuals have and gift them and free of charge when anybody comes along. We want to carry on doing that next year. And I suspect, and here are some of those subject matter experts who may choose to put their hand up and say, I could give you 15 minutes on this topic. Now that's all I really need, is people to say to me, I can give you 15 minutes on this topic. And then I can bring them together and we can make a programme that will actually give us something for our April meeting, something for our June meeting. We won't have one in August, I think we all deserve a holiday. Our September meeting, and let's see, maybe something at our AGM. We're trying something different with this AGM. It's not themed. Our only formal presentation will actually be from Richard from Oxley. Last year, you may recall, we did a great piece on the Garden Town and Healthy Bicester and the future of Bicester. Well, this year, we've taken it slightly wider and we're talking about the whole of the county. So that's quite interesting. But we'll see how it goes. Who knows, we may finish at 1:15, and in which case we'll wish we did have a speaker. But we are where we are on that. Okay. What I'd like to do now is ask our chairman to come up. I think I need to invite you up there before I actually start saying all these wonderful things you've got to share with us.
Okay, that's right.
Thank you. Cheers.
Okay, I just thought with an AGM it's quite nice to reflect on what's happened in the last 12 months and then maybe look forward for the next 12 months. So Graham's already said about what we want to do in terms of a programme of events. You see, we've got something every month going forward next year. So I'll just reiterate what Graham said, if you have got any ideas, things that you would like to be presented, you want to hear about, then please let me know, let Graham know, let somebody know, and we'll try and do that for you. Remember, this is a partnership, this is for you, this is for your benefit, so anything that you want to see happen, then please let us know and we'll go through it. So just reflecting on the last 12 months, and it's actually not quite within that period, but I think one of the biggest achievements, one of the things that I'm particularly proud of being involved in is where we are today. I remember on a very cold November, about 5 years ago, going to Department for Education with Classy and some people from Activate Learning. It was cold, wasn't it? And we had to put the case for why Bicester needed this studio school. And we did that, we presented, and it all grew from there. So we were very much, Bicester Vision was very much involved in the growth of this, and an achievement I think we can all be very, very proud of. And Richard taking it on today, it's just so wonderful to see what you're doing. Zita works closely with Emily and had a lot of fun with meeting with Emily and Oxfordshire County Council last week. And it's just great to see it all working. It's just doing what it should be doing. It's brilliant. Something's going to be exciting coming up. The next 12 months actually will be the Perch co-working space that we're putting together in Franklin Square. Again, an initiative from us, from this partnership. We got together and we said we thought this would be a really good idea. We worked with Cherwell District Council. They took the idea on board as well, and we're motivated now, and we're actually going to make this happen. This will open early next year. Yeah. So that's going to be something very exciting. And again, we can all be proud of this. This is something that we, people in this room, have been involved in, supported, and had the idea to take forward. Another thing we did in the last 12 months, I think, was a fantastic event. We hosted Oxford University. And why this was so good, again, Bicester Vision very much helped and coordinated this with the County Council. We worked together. Peter put a load of work into this, Graham put a load of work, as did our local authority members. And what a great day it was. We got a mini bus, which Peter arranged. We went all around Bicester, and I myself was amazed to see all the developments going on around Bicester. We showed this, we demonstrated this to Oxford University, and they went back basically going, wow, this is amazing. What's going on in Bicester is exciting, and it's a place certainly that you need to keep involved with. You need to see what's going on, and we've got another visit coming. And as a result of that, we all got together, the people who were involved in that, we all got together and said, this is a really good idea. Why don't we actually encompass everything we've done today and put a video together? And we'll see the results of that later on. So another thing that what this partnership has produced, and as I say, the video will be shown later on. Graham's been working very hard in the background on a new website and a lot of work on social media. You probably see he's always tweeting and always engaging on social media. So that's been good. And I think what we've seen throughout the course of the last 12 months has very much been a better, a bigger partnership engagement program. We've seen a lot more people come to the events. I'm pleased to say we're nearly full today. It's been really good to see that number of people wanting to get involved, wanting to engage with Bicester Vision, and see how we can help work with one another. So I think that's been an excellent thing to reflect on for the last 12 months.
Yeah, press that one again.
Inside.
Yeah, that's it.
And as a reflection of how well Graham's done, how well we've done, look at all the new members. So a big welcome to all of these people, some of you here today. Thank you very much for joining in. Please do get involved. Please talk to Graham, myself. Tell us about what you're doing. I know one of our members on there is, what is it? Which one? Graham, help me, is the Bouncy Castle place.
They're yet to sign up.
Oh, yet to sign up.
Yeah.
In that case, I won't talk about them.
No.
No,
you can't. No, please do.
We all need to go there. But yeah, I mean, they're fantastic. I can't remember. I've been involved in this division now 4 or 5 years. I can't remember having this many new people, new energies coming in to the partnership. So I think that's something again that we can be very proud of. To have that many people wanting to come in, wanting to join, wanting to get engaged with the partnership. It's fantastic. So welcome to everybody there, and I look forward to finding out more about your businesses and helping with you and with other people to generate more business. So what next? What are we looking for in the next 12 months? Well, we just mentioned about the Perch Centre opening soon. The Eco Business Centre, I think, will start kicking off as well.
It's being built at the moment and should be finished next year.
So that will be a very exciting space. So that's kind of, if you like, the next step on from the Perch Centre. So the idea with Perch is people with ideas, people want to start a business but can't afford to maybe go into a full-time lease arrangement. They can go to the purchase centre, they can use it as a drop-in basis, start the business. We'll be engaging with them, we'll be helping, we'll be running events there to help grow the business. And the idea is then they lead on and they end up in the Eco Business Centre, which is a bit more formalised and they've got a bit more structure around them. So it's a really nice way to see and to grow businesses in Bicester, which is obviously what we're all about. We've been involved in the Inward Investment MIPIM. A lot of you might have heard about the MIPIM programme, which is where we've been looking to promote Bicester externally and get engagement from external people who might want to come to Bicester, might want to relocate to Bicester. And that went very, very well, and we'll probably do that again next year, I suggest. It's probably something we'll be able to do. Supporting young enterprise, that's something we've done this year. We've actually invested in young enterprise, and we might be doing the same next year, who knows? So it's something we're looking forward to. Professional networking is something that I'd like to think we can have a go at next year. I'll be putting together a pilot with Graham on kind of peer-to-peer networking concept. Certainly something that's helped me through my career is to bounce ideas around, and we've got a wonderful membership here with people from all work, all aspects of business, and we can all learn from one another, and that's something that I think I'd really like to put together. Healthy New Town, obviously we got that designation, and also Bicester Vision have put some money into Healthy New Town and helping to promote that. Richard's going to tell us shortly about some new initiatives that are coming forward next year for funding. So I won't steal his thunder. Leave that to Richard. Next year we might be looking at transport initiatives. We had a proposal in from the Bright Boys of Oxford University, a group called Mobiles, and they've got ideas about autonomous vehicles, about transport, about sharing transport, and they put a proposal forward to this division which we want to share with the local authorities and see is that something we can take forward, and we can look at how we can improve the transport that's going on in the town. Town Centre 2, we'll be looking at initiatives in the next year about what we can do to help the town centre. It's in a bit of a decline at the moment. It's not in a good place, the town, and we want to work together and see what can we do to help regenerate the town, put some ideas together there. Peer-to-peer mentoring, I mentioned earlier on about the ideas of how we can work with that. And then we've got all the events coming up for next year. So as we mentioned, we'll be putting a whole programme together, starting off with our birthday party, which I'm looking forward to. That's to say, is there going to be a cake? Yeah. And we've got some ideas there for some presentations that we'll be holding. And again, Richard said, sorry. Should we stand apart? Graham said that we want your ideas. So if you've got any ideas and things that you want us to talk some themes, then please let us know, and we'll work them up. Graham's brilliant at bringing just an idea into a full-blown presentation and then supporting that with the right speakers and the right framework around it. So let Graham do what he's good at. Give him some ideas. And yeah, just thanks very much to everyone. I'd just like to say a big thanks to Graham. This takes quite a lot of doing, the work that's involved in all this, putting all these events together, getting this video compiled, and the amount of back office work that has to go into getting this to be the success that it is. I'd really like to just take this opportunity, only once a year, just to thank Graham. And also, Sarah does a lot of work. She does all of our minutes. She organises us all. She tells us what we should be doing. And yeah, looking forward to continuing and seeing what we can achieve next year. So thanks everyone. And I'll hand on now to the official part.
Chairman and Vice Chairman at our AGM each year. The Chairman comes from the private sector and the Vice Chairman comes from the public sector. So what I'm doing today is to seek nominations for the role of Chairman. Graham, do we have any nominations in or taking them from the floor?
We're taking them from the floor.
Thank you. So can I have a nomination for Chairman, please?
I'd like to nominate Phil.
Thank you, John.
I second.
Thank you. Any other nominations? are we all happy with Phil continuing as chairman? I'm sure we are. I've provided Phil wants to, of course. I think on the programme he's just outlined for us, I think it's he would want to stay and see this division develop. So, well done, Phil. We've got another year. And the second one is the vice chair, which is currently held by Scott. Again, seeking nominations for that. And Lynn proposes.
And I nominate Scott Blythe.
Thank you. And a seconder in Peter. And again, any other nominations? Bearing in mind, it has to come from the public sector. Okay, I think Scott, we're all agreed. So Scott, vice chairman. Now I'll hand over to Scott, who's going to take us through the process of the election of 2 people to the executive board.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, everybody. I'm delighted to be representing Joel and the vice chairman on the executive board for this division. So, one of the parts of the executive board is to look at the constitution and look at how the board is structured. Earlier this year, the board voted unanimously in favour of adding an additional 2 members to our executive board. The current makeup of the board is as you see, and the constitution differentiates between those founding members, I think we're mentioning the business club, and how this division was founded some years ago. But you'll see some other names on the board that have either been co-opted onto the board or indeed come from the private business background. And as this is a body for business in Bicester, we really want to add additional capacity to the board from the business sector and bring in specific skills from the business sector to help the board continue to do the great work that it's doing on behalf of Bicester. So today at the AGM we are going to take nominations from the business sector to seek nomination to the Bicester Vision Executive Board, and we will get onto that in just a moment. However, just before we do, and we've had those nominations in already, I would just like to ask our officer, Sam Shippard, just to explain a little bit about what could happen today should there be any other nominations, because we just need to ensure that we do things properly. So, Sam, if you just want to take us through how that's all done.
So I get the boring bit. So the way that we will do a vote is that if there are only 2 nominations and there are no other nominations come from the floor, as long as those people are proposed and seconded, then they will be elected unopposed. If anybody else is put forward and proposed and seconded, each of the partner organisations will be given one ballot paper with 2 votes, and we'll go to what's called an exhaustive ballot. The technicalities of which a group of us know, but basically we would count the votes. If any one person gets 50% or more of the votes, then they will be automatically elected. If there's 5 or 6, it becomes a little bit more complicated. But what would happen is the person with the least number of votes would then be struck out of the vote, and we would go back and back until we get 2 people that are properly elected.
Everyone understands that. I think with the papers that were sent out last week, you all received the details on nominations. We have received nominations for Andrew Davis from your letterbox, James Hill from Adultery.
James is having an operation.
Right, okay. James Hill from Adultery. So, can I ask, firstly then, are there any other nominations for election to the Executive Board?
No, but it's
Yeah, going once, going twice.
just want to stare at it.
Okay. In that case, we have 2 nominations. Do I have a proposer for Andy Davis?
Yes.
Thank you.
Samantha Kelly.
Samantha Kelly. Okay, I think so. We'll take it. Do we have a seconder for Andy Davis? Thank you. No, Richard. Do I have a proposer for James Hill?
Yes. John Liggins.
John. And do I have a seconder for James Hill? Okay, in the absence of anyone else being nominated, Phil, would you like to?
Yeah, I'd like to welcome Andy and James to the exec board.
Indeed. So, right.
I've got to say, I am a bit disappointed we didn't get to go through all the rigmarole of it. We spent a little time with our students over here preparing to experience the first exhaustive ballot. So let's see.
Are you
Next
challenging
year,
me,
It's
Graham?
always another year.
There's always another year.
We accept the challenge.
Very old democracy. Is that?
Let them vote
Go on,
for the
yeah.
headmaster, Graham. They can vote for the headmaster. Have a go there.
Okay, so our chairman mentioned earlier about MIPIM, which is an inward investments event that happens in Cannes and also sunny old Olympia in London. We went to the one in sunny old Olympia, which was very nice actually. And to go with that, Chilwell District Council commissioned this through an organisation called Clarity Creative, I believe it is. You may have a copy of that. You may not have picked it up. I would suggest if you are an employer or an organisation that would wish to speak to other employers about investing in Bicester, you would want a copy of this. There will be a digital copy made available for download. It's actually a tremendous brochure. And having walked around pretty much every stand at MIPIM and hoovered up all of their versions of what good looks like, I can tell you Chilwell District Council did a blinder on this, and they should be congratulated along with Clarity Creative for that. It's with regret that Nick Smiley from Clarity Creative couldn't be here today, because he's a fountain of all knowledge, as you can imagine, from somebody who produces something like this. He's got a lot of experience. His organisation does an awful lot of this in the area. The ARC, if you like, the Oxford to Cambridge, the Varsity line, that kind of thing. So what I wanted him to do today was to talk about some of the facts in here and also that wider environment. Regretfully, due to certain conditions, he wasn't able to attend. But he has said, count me in for next year, so we're going to hold him to that. So at a future event, we'll be able to talk more about what this is. Okay. But I do urge you, please take a copy of that. It did feature on the stand, and also Clarity themselves did the stand for MIPIM. And kind of, I'm not sure it does it, that particular photograph does it justice, but again, it was a real standout stand. If you imagine Olympia, if you've ever been there, it's a decent bit of space, and we were really punching above our weight at MIPIM. We really were. We were definitely the smallest town, smallest area, fighting for attention. But I tell you what, we really got it. Everybody knows Bicester. And those who didn't know Bicester, when they walked over to the stand, sure as heck knew by the time they left. We were very fortunate that, Scott, you provided some wonderful support in the way of your officers. And Steve, you've got Steve here. Steve was one of the chaps who was actually on the stand with us. I don't know if you wanted to say anything, Steve, about your experiences of how you felt MIPIM went.
I think very well, as you explained it well, for the first time especially. I'm just like to feel that there's plenty of opportunity for us to work on this and build for the future. So we put it on the map, I'm saying, and there is scope as well for partners to get more involved in the future.
We certainly like to do that because we were very aware it was Bicester versus the Northern Powerhouse, Bicester versus Edinburgh, Bicester versus Leeds, Bradford, Sheffield, and all that gang in the middle. So I said we had to do our bit. But the really good thing, what we discovered, was that there were 3 stands, if you like, there that each kind of geographically covered Bicester. So we had a triple whammy on making sure that we got the message out there. And at certain times we had a great rota working, so we didn't all have to be on the Bicester stand at any one time. But there was a gentle person's agreement that when we weren't on our own stand, we'd slide onto one of the other 3 stands, or the other 2 stands, and talk about Bicester on that one as well. So it made sure that we kind of did our fair bit, and I think a great deal of thanks needs to go to Scott and indeed your colleagues, Cherwell District Council and Oxley as well, Richard. Thank you all so much for...
Indeed to you and Bicester Vision for your contribution and time as well at the event.
Yeah, it was brilliant, really was, and we really put it on the map there. We took a lot of leads away, at least 50 leads, good leads, and they were a combination of people who want to invest in the town. They effectively want to know where the land is because they want to put an office block up there. They actually want to occupy some space there. They want to find out if this is the right town for them. They have an area of expertise that may be of interest to one of our partners. So we took lots of leads and we're going through the process of qualifying those leads and passing them on, as indeed it always happens at one of these events. But we've done our bits and it was a great experience. So looking forward to Cannes next year. To go with that, we, as you know, if you came to our last partnership meeting, we commissioned a video. And Jack, stick your hand up. Actually, just stand up, Jack. Just if you don't know Jack Osborne, by the end of this, or at the start of this, you will by the end of it, because Jack has done a tremendous job, and I'm going to show you two of the videos that Jack and his team have put together for Bicester. And they were specifically, one was for our MIPIN event, one was for the, you know, kind of, I guess, the opening of Bicester Village, and indeed the town itself. And then you produced a third one, which is just a fabulous video. You're about to see it in a minute. Bigging it up, mate, but it is that good. No pressure. Yeah, no pressure. Yeah, which is all about, this is a follow-on from MIPIN, really. What I said to Jack was, imagine that I'm an investor. I go onto the MIPIN stand. I take away one of the brochures. I think, oh, that's brilliant. Here's a business card. See you later, chap. I'm off. Actually, what I need then is somebody to follow up with an email saying, here's a link to a film that gives you the wider context of what Bicester's all about. So that was a brief to Jack. And we spent a couple of months, really, working our way through locations.
We got there.
We did get there. I mean, I found it a fascinating exercise, and it was quite educational. I respected your industry before from the outside. Having had a taste of it, I respect it even more now because it's a tremendous amount of work that goes into something that, what on face value is a 2 or 3 minute film. Just hundreds of hours, isn't it? That goes into it. I can only imagine. Yeah. I mean, what must it be like when they're making these Hollywood movies that last 2.5 hours? You think, you know, I'm sure you aspire to do that.
Well, I know all about Bicester now.
Always part of our strategy to be in Bicester, growing town, developing town.
I got quite excited about moving here. I thought it was a wonderful place, very historic.
We were really excited about coming to Bicester. We had met many of the businesses in town and also the local authority and found that there was a real can-do attitude in Bicester.
There are so many advantages to coming to Bicester and opening a business here. Opportunity to acquire properties is still very competitive.
There's more and more premises becoming available, so we've got a rapidly growing town which will be able to support the growth of businesses coming forward.
We have some great businesses, from huge businesses that employ many people right down to the small independents, and what I like about Bicester is actually there's room for all.
It's easy to get to Bicester, it's easy to get out of Bicester, and it's well served by all forms of transportation.
Equidistant between London and Birmingham, with a fantastic motorway link off the M40.
We've got 2 railway stations, east, west and north, south. We're within an hour of several international airports.
How can I help? The transport links for Bicester make it very accessible for clients to get to us and us to get out to see our clients and suppliers.
Our customers are all over the country, so being where we are is fantastic.
Recruitment is easy in the area. There are lots of high-skilled people with great credentials, great experience.
There's a large proportion of the workforce that actually come from Bicester, which is fantastic for the town itself, and they're very proud to work for us.
We've got a great support network from our students. We've got Bicester Technology Studio with some very bright students coming through.
I'm very proud to have a thriving apprenticeship programme. This year we put through 30 graduate apprentices, which is the biggest cohort we've ever had.
There's always a decent amount of CVs to trawl through when we're putting ads locally.
Bicester's a growing town, as you can see when you drive around. There are many thousands of houses going up over the next few years.
Bicester provides a place where people can afford to live, buy decent accommodation, decent housing.
I wanted a good place to bring up a family and a happy place to live, a healthy place to live, and Bicester ticks all those boxes.
Growth, jobs, houses. What more do you need?
It still feels like it's got that kind of market town feel, but it seems to be expanding very quickly.
It's actually helped us get into business quicker, more successfully, and we're accelerating our plans for expansion as we speak.
We've over doubled our turnover, and that's mainly due to moving here.
Our turnover has doubled from 2.5 million up to 5 million this year.
The demand for our products has been overwhelming. Bicester has been the perfect setting for us to realise our dream.
Bicester, there's no better place to be.
Bicester, everything's possible.
Bicester, open for business.
So, Jack, I've said it at the start, I'm going to say it at the end. A big thank you to you for all the work that you did, and I know you didn't work alone. I met at least 3 of your colleagues on that. Great, and the great thing is, of course, Mr. Chairman, you're now a member of Bicester Vision. Sorry. Yeah. So what I would say is, you've seen the quality of the work there. Please share the love. If you want to commission work, then please, consider using this organisation. They've done a tremendous amount of work, gone above and beyond what our expectations were on that. So thank you very much for that. Our next section is Richard Bayard. Now, I just need a moment to, so feel free to warm them up a bit while I flip over the slide decks.
Yeah, thank you. That's great. The video is great, really, really good. And the net was part of the Midland experience as well. It was part of the growth phase. I'll talk about that, but it was really great to see Bicester Vision, Bicester Garden Town. As Grace said, really punching above its weight in an international event that probably had about 6 dozen or so locations vying for investment. It was absolutely fantastic to see, and we'll talk about that in more detail. Again, I think from a net perspective, great to be here, and great to share the knowledge. So much going on, isn't there? There's loads going on. It's fantastic, very hard stuff, and take it forward. So, I'm Richard Bayard, Director of Business Development at Oxley. Some of you will know what NEPs are, others won't. For those who don't, this slide is for you. We are one of 38 local enterprise partnerships across the country. What's our mantra? I think we'll study it in the video. Jobs, housing, growth, effectively. That's what we're here to do. Support job creation, support economic growth, to facilitate housing development. We are, as I said, one of 38 across the country, and we very much focus on Oxfordshire. But equally, we work across boundaries, whether that's near neighbour boundaries, so for Buckinghamshire or Berkshire, for example, or sector boundaries, whether that be, for example, in space and satellite industry, we work Cornwall, Leicester, and Leicestershire, where there's sector needs. Our mantra is very much private sector led. We have Phil, he's a representative on our board, and he brings the Bicester Vision story and updates from you, and key challenges from you to the board on a regular basis. And we're very clear that we need to get that private sector forward. Let's through a construct of the first coalition and very much created to play a central role in developing growth strategies to develop to bring private sector input to economic development and to growth. And as such, our mantra very much is set again to create economic growth, prosperity, and creation of jobs. And increasingly over the period since it's been created, central government sees NEPs as a vehicle through which they via funds. I go back to when we created in 2013. That wasn't very long to take. Increasingly over time, central government have added more to our burden, added more to our private sector policy burden. And again, as I go through the presentation, you see some of the scale of numbers and the figures that we're now responsible for. And that's only going to increase for us. That's fine. Talk about performance, isn't it? How are we performing? We oversee the 2.5 billion growth programme, which is significant element in around this we are measured through jobs and growth, so therefore it's really good to get flagged to both yourselves, but also what we're discussing with ministers, with government. Over the past 5 years, Oxfordshire has created in excess of 40,000 new jobs over 5 years. That is huge. That is absolutely huge. And again, to put that in context, we set our vision in 2013. We had a vision of 85,600 new jobs to 2031, so effectively we're half on ahead in 5 years. That is huge. That's down to you, it's down to your businesses, it's down to your stakeholders, and it's down to the economic vibrancy of this particular area and Oxfordshire. And of course, within that context, of economic vibrancy, we have got a really strong economy, and a measure of that is unemployment claim count. We have the lowest unemployment claim count in the country. From our perspective, great, really good news, and a really strong message to talk to ministers about. Really positive to hear one of the videos which people say, "No, we don't have any problem with recruitment." I want to talk to that person. Most of the quick conversation I have is we're really struggling to recruit. So whatever they're doing, we need more of it to try to maximise recruitment, because effectively we're full employment economy, which means that it's really, really challenging for employers to recruit, but equally it provides a real good place for us to live. So again, just looking
perhaps in what other people are saying about us, because I hate to be here and tell you about how good we are. But you've got us today, probably more powerful. So, top locality for research and development, Enterprise Research Council, a locally respected think tank. So that's all, again, maximising the academia, the quality of business of the company, to be new and to bring forward new and innovative products. And again, we lead the way nationally for firms producing new and innovative products at the market 27%. And that is significantly above national. Second fastest growing economy of all UK cities. That's kind of based around the Oxford and Oxford area. Our industrial market is thriving. I think the important point to note in that is industrial, because that is a huge sector, the logistics sector, the distribution sector, absolutely key and one of the core elements here in this. It's absolutely thriving, and Bidwell's did a report very recently, and there's some figures there, 8.4 billion. It's growing incredibly. The whole smart cities thing, that innovation agenda, that maximising innovation, maximising some of the great talent, that is starting to manifest itself nationally through various reports. I'm really likely to say that the locality has been cited in 2 reports, one of which is Juniper. It's one of the sort of the top 10 locations of smart cities. That's how we bring people, communities, jobs, housing, health, bring all those things together and bring innovative location to drive prosperity, to drive economic well-being, to drive community well-being, to drive health. So that's a really significant statement there that I can stand here on the back of independent research and say we are a top 10 smart city location. And in terms of the LEP, we were awarded at Midland UK a couple of weeks ago the most successful locality for attracting office occupation. Let's have more of it. The challenging courses for state. And within that context, we are a top 10 foreign direct investment location. Working with government, working with company national trade. That was one of our ambitions for the LEP board. We're there now. The challenge is actually to move within the top 10. We never get to the top 4 because it's London and then the 3 devolved countries as a norm, but certainly if we can stay in the top 10 and improve the top 10, that's really forward. Part of the work that the Bicester Vision has done, part of the work that the team of Midland UK is to continue to drive that pipeline of foreign direct investment. We need to get out there, we need to promote the location, we need to drive investment. So, Midland UK is we went as part of the Great Thames Valley, the Oxford Cambridge corridor. So, just to really sum all that up, really thriving location, strong job ambition, already halfway there, up to a 2031 target. As a LEP, we're managing a 2.2 billion growth programme, and that has leveraged 2.5 billion worth of private sector investment. Part of that is highways improvements, again, significant highways improvements locally, including rail, of course, is vital. And in order to sustain that growth, we need to drive forward apprenticeship, we need to drive forward, maximise the opportunities for young people coming through the education system. Part of that is, I think it's very fantastic, Richard, to hear you also diversify your offer slightly to build on economic the changes in the economy, so life science is one of our core areas. So we've got a really strong, powerful economy. Bicester is at the heart of a really strong economy. And it's our job through that to really drive that business forward, maintain it and improve it. And the more we can do collectively, the better for everybody. Something that's happened very recently, we launched last month a new market outside innovation. A government product of the Department of Business, Energy and Industrial Strategy. And it was kind of, if you think about this in the context of government saying to us, it's kind of Brexit things happening, not quite sure how it's going to pan out, but we want to maximise the opportunity to position UK PLC at the heart of growth. So can new locality go away? Do a bit of research, do a bit of an audit into your science and innovation assets come back to us so that in the post-Brexit industrial landscape, industrial structural landscape, the government have more of an idea of where the centres of excellence are, where the opportunities for investment are, and where job creation and growth will lie. SIA is kind of comment on that. We launched a process, and 4 sectors emerged as a focus for our site innovation audit. And it's kind of a deep dive into understanding what's happening in those sectors. First, life sciences, digital health, life sciences, you're absolutely on message, very good. Connected and autonomous vehicles, there are reference to the video and through presentations and comments earlier. So that holds an autonomous vehicle world that I find personally very scary. But nevertheless, it's coming, so how do we harness it? How do we maximise that? How do we build that into huge housing development, for example? The third sector is space and satellite, really maximising what we're spending around Harwell. And the fourth is project computing. So digital health, connected autonomous vehicles, space and satellite, and quantum computing. 4 sectors, with 4 interlinked sectors. And if you think about Harwell, for example, we don't send spacecraft up into space from Harwell, but a lot of the data from the satellites that is sent from various parts of the world is managed and collected and interpreted and gathered in Harwell, because we call that downstream space. And if you're in a world of connected autonomous vehicles, you need loads of data, don't you? You need to make sure that your sensors work, and the data works. And in a world of sort of digital health and life sciences, where perhaps you're not going to go to the doctor as often, but you're kind of using ICT to self-diagnose, you need to make sure you've got access and the data works. So if you throw a satellite up into space, you're using the data back to support your connected autonomous vehicle agenda. But also that data could potentially be used to support your healthy new agenda. What do you need for that? You need computer, digital capacity, ICT capacity, that is far beyond what we've currently got, which is quantum computing. And Oxford is one of the global leaders developing quantum computing technologies. So 4 horizontals, but with a very clear vertical. 4 verticals, but a very clear horizontal. Really exciting stuff. But for an educationalist, our skills section is incredibly thin. So it wasn't like others, there's 180 pages of stuff, it was really good, loads of stuff. And it was really thin because who knows the skills that the quantum computing industry require in 5 years, 10 years, because the jobs haven't been created yet. So what we want is educationalists like here who say, you know what, something's changing, and we're going to respond and change accordingly to meet the needs of that economy. So absolutely brilliant that Richard and the team here responding to that. This was such a good piece of work, and the process behind it is really, really important. That, as I said originally, this was a product of government. We now actually tried to do the next wave ourselves, and inviting applications for sectors to come forward with the process. It's highly likely that high-performance technology will want. Think of some kind of video, HPD, that whole sort of F1, that automotive, that motorsport valley bit, which that part of the world will form part of that. So watch this space, and hopefully we can bring that forward. A little bit more detail on the growth programme. There we go. So I mentioned the 2 plus 2 growth programme. We've actually been pretty successful over recent times as well in securing government investment over the past 3 or 4 years. The list there is just a few examples from the various schemes, local growth from 1 to 3, city deal. What I want there happening and being developed and delivered, what I want to concentrate on is just some high-level information around the bottom 2 bullets. National Infrastructure Commission. Lord Adonis, who chaired the commission, was given a very clear mandate by Treasury to go and explore the economic strength of the Oxford Cambridge corridor, to scale back that strength in numbers, scenario, and the ability to government in the post-Brexit landscape to look at where do we invest, where are we, the government, where is UK PLC going to gain maximum value for investment moving forward. already gone into this, as Chair, the Commission, very much on looking at the potential of the Oxford-Cambridge corridor, and there's some investment there to support that. Why is that important here? Why is it relevant here? You're sat at the western end of the Oxford-Cambridge corridor. East-West Rail already started, already been delivered in just down the road here. The Oxford-Cambridge Expressway road, better link, Oxford-Cambridge. But actually what we're saying to government is, well, we can build a road, that's great. But why not think about this in the context of science innovation audit? Why not think about this in the context of road and housing? So it's not just a road to better connect two places, it's a road to better connect growth of housing to unlock housing delivery. And actually, if we're going to do that, let's make sure the housing stock is enabled for digital health. Or the roads, the road we're going to build is future-proof for connected autonomous vehicles. Because we can put loads of laptops on it and divide every road. But actually, is that what we need? We need to think about future-proofing. And I think there's a really important message there that we're relaying back to government on the basis of we need to see this opportunity. Because we've got the intellectual credibility, know-how, and capacity. We need government to come with us on a journey to this in order that we deliver what we need. And it's not just a road, it's more intelligent. Part of that conversation is taking place in housing and growth field discussions again, very much linked to the NIC. I was reporting the Oxford Rail a couple of days ago about the opportunity around housing growth deal. Effectively, us negotiating with government saying, you know what, in the post-Brexit landscape, you need to invest in Oxfordshire because you'll get a return. This is one of three localities and one of three localities in the country that generate a positive return next year. The taxation and the income that's generated in Oxfordshire goes back to the Treasury and then redistributed nationwide. And that's an important message, and that's part of our growth deal discussion with government again. That's Oxfordshire centric, but then Oxfordshire is part of the Oxford-Cambridge corridor. So big strategic stuff that's happening, strategic discussions that we're engaged with at the time. So again, hopefully, we will envisage that the budget on the 22nd, I think, November, there will be confirmation from the Chancellor around government's willingness to continue to negotiate with us to drive investment and support investment in Oxfordshire. So I hope all good news can come on that basis. This is again referenced in the video. In order to drive that growth and investment, this is the knowledge art site up. Thinking about Bicester, Oxford, down the site where I'm through into Cambridge. A lot of our investment is focused on that art, on the knowledge spine. They're the sort of the main urban growth areas that allows us to concentrate growth in those areas primarily. In order to protect some of the fantastic, wonderful natural resources we've got in our raw mines. Because of course growth in balance will have to sustain. So we can concentrate investment, as I say, in the knowledge spine and through Cambridge. It allows us to deliver the growth agenda, deliver better value and more jobs, livable housing, equally protect the natural environment as much as we can, and the quality of life that we all love so much locally. So that's the focus for our investment moving forward. So that's kind of the high level strategic stuff. I'm going to talk now a little bit about business support. There are businesses here. We run a business support programme that we alluded to earlier. Funding through European monies, so there are European monies still very much in and around the UK, but being around Oxfordshire. We manage, or we hope to manage, we hope to manage an £11 million business support programme across all themes. We currently have £2 million in the bank. We are, in fact, notional. We are extremely close to signing off on a £5 million contract, and then we've got 2 other programs. What's that look like? Elevate Staff and Growth, brochures at the back. I'm sure many of you have be familiar with the Elevate programme initially, very much aimed at pre-starts, early stage starts and growing businesses. So you might think that's not for me, but equally through your peer networks, through your network, please just communicate the message out. There is support, free support for business, pre-start and early stage start to grow. It's through a series of workshops, through a series of events, and we also have what we call network navigation, effective business advisors who are out there to help a business grow. So that's very much aimed at the start and growth programs. That's in the main, effectively, and up and running. We work with colleagues locally on the innovation program, and this is the one that we're just waiting for the final sign-off from the government, which is coming. We are absolutely confident it's coming. Hopefully not happen in the next week or two. But that's helping fund capital investment, which is good stuff. But equally looking at how we can better harness the talent and skills within our innovation ecosystem, which is really strong. Not just me saying it, from the previous research. So that is up and running. We're operating that currently, just waiting for sign. Two further programs that we hope will be up and running from April and Escalate as scale up. So again, if you're a new fledgling business in Bicester, in Oxfordshire, that actually with some targeted support you really grow. So grow at perhaps 20% a year for 3 years, year-on-year growth. That's a scale up in my language, government language. We're really keen to try and understand how we can help support the next stage of the scale up. So we've got some EU money for that. Social enterprise. Your community shops, your community businesses. How can we bring forward a much stronger social enterprise sector? Recognising that we are one of the primary social enterprise localities already in the county, so we're going to talk about more. You can see for those creative, for those creative people in the audience, yeah, our creative team is trying to come up with a bit of a brand there, Elevate, Go Create, Escalate, Associate. Probably not the best, but nevertheless, you know, the headline message, £11 million worth of business support. It's free, it's out there, access it, please when you access it, and that can inform your peers. So that's happening now. SMEs, basically, any business under 250 employees or less must be UK based. But again, we take a broad definition of business, the charity, constitution of business. So enterprise is said, so a real broad range. In addition to this, there's a whole raft of rural development money as well for businesses in rural locations, not rural businesses. And that's quite a nuanced area. So you could be producing satellites stuck out in a rural location. You're eligible. So when I'm talking about this is a rural location, that's what I mean. I don't think a traditional rural business is like a farm. It's that location as a centre. So actually quite a varied range of opportunity. Information on the website, and again through Grow, we make sure that we get this information out to you and your constituents as members. So please do avail yourself of it. Let's go back to comment earlier about skills. Part of the work we do is to work with through the skills board, private sector-led skills board, which I'm sharing here today. It's absolutely important in the economy that I described before later on. We need to maximise our workforce, we need to maximise our skills. So through the left of the skills board, we went through the skills strategy, 5 strategic priorities. These are the first 3. Richard, you're doing that. You're supporting that. How do we match the needs of business alongside the education and training research? We need more people like Richard to say, you know what, the economy's going that way. I'm going to just slightly tweak my business model, my education model, to meet the needs of the economy so that the young people that I educate have got career options, employment options, or preferences. Part of that make sure young people are better prepared for the work experience, information, advice, guidance. So when I talk about Harwell, for example, 100,000 jobs nationally in the space sector by 2030. Data suggests that about 10,000 of those will be in and around Harwell. So young people go through their learning journey. 2 P's going back into space this year. That will generate a whole raft of interest and enthusiasm in the space sector. So young people who are thinking, you know what, I want to do that. You could enter the space sector, space industry. It's down the road from Harwell. But what we need is for the education system to be responsive, but equally those that advise you to be familiar with the direction of travel in terms of the opportunities that are available as you go, as you work your way through the education system. So that whole information advice guidance is absolutely key. The third point is interesting, so I spoke about the full labour market economy, virtual full employment. There's a cohort of about 15,000 people across the country who are out of work, and they are employment support allowance claimants. Conventional wisdom says that about a third of those will never work for a whole raft of health-related reasons. So there's about 10,000 people out there, bearing in mind, so you've got a full labour market economy, we've got job growth like that, the investment coming in, about 10,000 people out there who, with the right help and support, confidence building, we can help them to employ them. We need to maximise those people. We need to work with them to encourage them, to provide the infrastructure to help them, to recognise the challenges that they have, because a lot of them are furthest away from the labour market, but work with them and look at what they can do as opposed to what they can't do, and actually work with employers to try to increasingly look at more flexible employment practices. So a lot of those will be carers, will have carer responsibilities, for example. So does a carer responsibility align to a 9-to-5 job? Probably not. But it might align to a visitor on the net job, a retail net job, a hospitality net job. It's how we bring that together. It's absolutely important, vital for us to drive economic growth. So final 2 points for me, apprenticeships. So again on the video, some really strong messages about apprenticeships. Colleagues from the armed forces, fantastic apprenticeship program. How do you get more? How do you get more engaged in apprenticeship? How do you get more employers aware of the apprenticeship agenda? A lot of perceptions still exist that apprenticeship only exists in some of this sort of ability and you imagine you come home from work and the boiler suit is filthy and go to the even in construction, a lot of construction is CAD negative, design negative. We need to get that message out there to start to change perceptions. We're doing a good job already, but doing more about apprenticeships and the work that you've done as a collective to help that is really important. Fifth and final point for me is around graduate retention. So, anything about it, the whole labour market, the whole economy viewpoint, impact simplification audits, impact space at Harwell, for example, we need to retain graduates. Whether that's graduates that come into the apprenticeship route or graduates who come from university. It's great, having that access to London, brilliant. On one hand. But actually, the challenge of that is increase access and increase the travel to work area. So, how do you retain all that talent locally? So, they're the sort of 5 areas that the skills board is grappling with and trying to set those skills strategy. And again, the work we're doing here is really appreciated. So that's enough for me. Thank you.
A lot of information there for us to take in. I think one of the key things that perhaps we all should explore going forwards is there's funding that's available. And let's make sure that everyone in Bicester and our partnership as members have got access to that funding, know how to get that funding. And that's one of the key things that the Vision can do for you, is actually help you to get that access to that funding. It's not necessarily about being the right place or the right person. It's about ticking boxes, and we can help with that. So the programme of support there, I think, would be great. Okay, partners. This is a time where we've got throw the ball open to you guys. If there's anybody that would like to make any announcements or have anything events coming up, then now is a chance what we'll do is we'll take it by row for any updates for anybody.
Chairman, could I ask first off that we invite...
And nice to see integration technology here. And I'd like to just ask Richard, can you just remind people who drove those maps actually make the park is in between Factory and Bicester? As they always forget, something else to see us there. As part of the Charitable Business Awards, we did have a great party, which was a way of celebrating some of the exciting businesses in the Charitable District. We are proud to define ourselves very different to other business awards in the county. So we're not a conveyor belt in which an award is announced, someone comes, receives the award, take a picture. Okay, so we are a business award where people actually share their achievement, and the room normally ends up in tears. And that happened last May, which you missed, but it was really nice. And I think it's very nice to make the point, and people will kill me if I don't do this. And Pete and I are directors of the Charitable Business Awards. We register a company. We are trying to evolve, as you know, many of the business awards are trying, and be more professional with years. And I'll tell you a little bit more about what's coming on. But if I share with you the fact that at Hayford Park in May, we had a bunch of wonderful business people coming to have a party together, and it felt like friends sitting in a room and having a giggle and a few drinks. A few people zigzagging to the bedrooms in the hotel. But it was very emotional as well, and it was emotional in a way in which, you know, Michelle from Hummingbird won the award. The charity gets money from the raffle, so they just don't win an award. They win a little bit of pot towards the charity. Mike Hawkins followed afterwards, and he couldn't talk after hearing Michelle talking about how she started setting up the Hummingbird Centre. So it was very personable. We don't just go and say this is Charitable District Council, and Lynn, you were there as well, you always come, and this is how wonderful Charitable District Council is. We actually like to say these are the guys that make Charitable District Council the future economy of the area. And the evening closed up with everyone going to the dance floor for a little bit of a boogie, without having tissues in our hands, because when Ed Frost was announced as a winner, we were all in tears because he really didn't expect it. So Ed Frost is a funeral company, you know, and we all think that anyone that is in business is innovative, and everyone thinks, oh, it's going to be an innovative company. But actually it was Ed Frost, because the passion of what they do and how they look after the customers and the families and the follow-on gave Nova the good, consistent solid reason to make them the winner, the overall winner of the Charitable Business Award. So we did have a party, we did have a lot of giggles, and we did have a little bit of emotional tears, but it was all fun. We start from zero. So May comes, party's over, we start from zero, we start recruiting sponsors, think about how we can regenerate ourselves, how we can reinvent ourselves, and this year we've done a lot of brainstorming and time together, Peter and the other directors of the Charitable Business Awards, and decided to actually reinvent some of the awards. So we've got 2 new awards which are very unexpected. We've never had them in the area. We've got 2 new sponsors. We've got sponsors that have actually moved into different awards to make sure that there's a good, robust number of applicants coming to it. We've got a launch at Nova. We're trying to get 100 people to attend the launch. We're halfway there. We've got 2 weeks to get 100 people to attend the launch, because we don't want to let Nova down. We're giving us the premises, and Hawkins is sponsoring the launch as well. We are also launching a new website. So I had my picture taken again. I love having my picture taken. Yeah, I love it. So we've got new website, new awards, new sponsors, a launch, a good reason to come together to network and start spreading the word. The Charitable District Council has got amazing businesses in Bicester, in Banbury, in Western-on-the-Green, Littleton Stony, Hayford Park, London. everywhere, not just the two big cities, or Killington, or Bedford, everywhere in Cherwell District Council. And I would like to ask you, this is a call for action for everyone, to register for the launch, which Graham will share the link later, to actually get very excited about the awards again. This is the 7th year that we're doing that. And this is the one that we put in. The directors are all volunteers. Graham is putting time towards this as well. We're all putting our time out of our working hours to make sure that everyone has an amazing party in May. So we had 250 people at the last one. We started with just 110 people at the first one, where I think John Liggins was one of the starting sponsors at that one, and he was in Bicester. We would like to get 300 people. We would like to get 100 at the awards, 100 people at the launch. We would like to get double the number of applicants, and everyone nominating for businesses in Cherwell District Council. And one of the reasons as well is because the 3 finalist pair award get put forward to the Oxfordshire Business Awards. So this is again an opportunity to go and be represented in the Oxfordshire Business Awards. And Hawkins won Bicester of the Year for Oxfordshire Business Awards this year. So one of our winners went through to the August and won the overall business. So this is us trying to wave the flag for Cherwell District businesses. And that'll be me. And don't forget to sing it.
Thanks, Russell. Mr. Chairman, it might be worth mentioning that quite a number of our partners are sponsors of the Cherwell Business Awards, and we hope that they'll continue to be sponsors, and if they can't sponsor directly one of the awards, they may choose to potentially put their name forward and have some funds to sponsor one of the extra things that happens on the evening.
I encourage everyone to go to the launch and also put your names forward for your businesses as well. People doing the application is quite entertaining to see.
Informed by those that organised it that 20 people would come to the first meeting, so I said, okay, I'll pick up the tab. 67 of the budget, which was really interesting. Richard was there representing the school, and the interesting thing is that these constructing excellence groups were very keen to come to Bicester. They were very keen to see what was going on, and we're having 4 a year. And the next one is going to be here. Still got to work on the date. But it's going to be in January. And I think we'll get another 67, and these are big developers, big construction people. I'm sure, John, you would walk in the room and know most of them. But it was a really interesting exercise, and these organisations are keen to get to know what's going on in the town. We're keen for them to get to know what's going on in the town. We're keen to get Richard's people to get to know these businesses. But it was a first time it's ever happened. It went really, really well. Cost me a bloody fortune, but well worth doing.
All right, thanks very much. I think it's an example of partnership in action there, sort of things that we can do, and that's absolutely fantastic work. Thanks for that, Phil. Brilliant, great stuff. Anybody else over here? Front row? Oh. Back row? Up here? Okay. Back row, next row, next row. Right, I think we're done. Anything else we need to cover off? We normally do some outputs for the
We do, Mr. Chairman. We're looking for 3 key messages that we can take away from today.
Okay, well, I think certainly one of the key messages was from Richard in terms of the upcoming funding. There's significant funding coming forward next year, and what we need to do is position ourselves and our members so that they're right at the front of the row when it comes to applying for those. I think the other thing we can do is reflect on a successful year and put some examples down of success, and also look forward to what we want to do next year. I think 3 messages. If everybody else has got any ideas.
Register for the Cherwell District Business Awards.
Right.
Their launch is what I said.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Class would be crying again.
It'll be a different sort of
It was the alcohol, I think, actually.
Okay, I think that's it then. Thanks again to everyone for coming, giving up your time. I hope it's been useful for you today, and I hope going forwards you'll join us on some of the partnership members meetings. And as we both Graham and I said, if you want anything, if you think we're going in the wrong direction to your partnership, please talk to us, and we'll take on board any comments and follow the direction that you want this partnership to go.
Can I just say, Phil, before you wrap up, the only person who hasn't been thanked in the room is you. And I think you've done an absolutely brilliant job as chairman for this year. You had a hard act to follow, I think, when Adrian stepped down and nobody put their hand up, but you did, and thank you for that. But I just think you've done a bloody good job this year, and keep it going, my friend.